So, I think where we left off yesterday, I have an accruing number of people being held. One of them, hopefully in a medically induced coma or equivalent.
Right.
And thoroughly disabled from literally anything, because yikes. Double checking legality, just as out of character, I guess. If there's someone who I want information from, what are the laws on just turning them into a thrall, getting the information by command as with them as my thrall, and then killing them?
Creating thralls is illegal.
Even if it's temporary and for legal purposes, as a method of information acquisition?
As of currently, yes, it is illegal.
Can I write myself an exemption as marshal?
You can write a proposed law.
But you could order a thrall to tell you everything they know, right?
This is correct.
Okay. And if they don't have rights because they're a prisoner, it's not violating any of their rights.
No.
And if they're a thrall, not a full vampire, they're also not subject to vampire rights.
That's correct. However, it would be an illegal action on your part.
On a technicality.
Well, I mean, the law is kind of built on technicalities.
I'm not creating them. Anyhow, there's a longer story there. Neither here nor there.
So,
but the law does say no. Okay.
I will need a reminder of what happened last time because I'm a little spaced after everything that I've been doing.
That's fine. There was a person taking pictures of the garage as I left after I did a quick chat with Patricianit Mikhail. Mikhail, yes. An ornate dress with a long slit. I forget the color. She's a reader, something fundraising. Ah, yes. Porcelain mask, demonic glyph on the glove, 3 daggers, human, female. Yada yada. Hassel's team caught someone and a conveniently present crowd with Lieutenant Colonel Southor's help. I got the demon finger. I don't know if I said it, but I meant to have the one in holding not be returned to the science division because I now have a use for it. And I'd like to now not hold it for the ongoing case of their security, but hold it as an asset in another case that it's been. I hereby associate it with the other case of the portals, and for that reason, I'm holding it.
Gotcha.
Did Jeffrey's notes say where he put the crystal heart?
The crystal heart.
Crystal vampire heart that I thought I gave him? From the assassin? He said he'd keep it safe.
Oh, yes. Well, no, it doesn't.
Okay. But it was nowhere in his secret vault?
Nowhere that you could see.
And I didn't see any obvious trapdoors. So, cool. That's unfortunate.
Did you bring the Hyperion armor with you?
It's meant to be played. It was meant to be. I meant to have it brought to the marshalship, which is where I'm going now that I've dropped Trey off at the airport.
Right.
But I have not donned it yet.
Yes, that's what happened. You dropped Trey off at the airport. All right. So you begin heading back to the marshalship.
And I say marshalship, I mean seniorate, because I need to get in contact with Burgundy.
Oh, okay. So you're going to swing by the the seniorate. So you head back to the Capitol building and go to the seniorate section. We need rain.
It's Lavasa, there's always rain. I'm sorry, I have some Brahms raspberry ganache ice cream right now, and it is So nice.
Nice.
Dark chocolate.
So, you make your way to the Signoret, and you're gonna head up to Burgundy's office.
And I would have called ahead. That was.
Oh, okay. So you called ahead.
Call ahead, seeing if he can get me in for a quick talk.
Yeah, you can go in.
All right. Sorry.
You head upstairs. Hold on 1 second.
Pausing back. I'm coming back in a carriage that I'm driving.
If you want to be.
Carriages have windows.
Sure.
Hey, Mike.
Yes. What? Yes.
Sorry. Of the portals, the demon portals. They were activated by emotion, is what I remember hearing. Is there? Well, that's the going theory. You seem like you have a bit of experience in, innate knowledge and portals. And no offense, but you look a little demony. Are there like key emotions that they tend to use for this kind of thing, or is it all custom?
An emotional state can be relative to where you're trying to go. It's an emotion that you associate with the location you're trying to reach. If you can, the more closely you can replicate or feel that emotion, the easier it will be for you to arrive at the location you associate with said emotion.
So it's not that. Oh, so it's not that every gate has its own emotion preset. It's knowledge of them in association therewith.
Yes, quite so.
Crap.
As far as I'm understanding, demons, certain demons can only travel to certain locations because they can associate any emotion with any location because they are made from such stuff. But beings like devils, on the other hand, are more inclined to obeying rules and laws, and they can more easily just command them. And, yes, that sort of thing.
So, there's no way to go to portals that we haven't yet found?
I believe so, yes.
Just by looking for emotions?
Yes, that would be correct.
Ah, well, one plan down. Let me just type that up. Look for. Okay. That's something that I'll put over here, now that it's been done, technically. Ooh, hope you didn't hear that one. That was rough. Anyhow. So, yes, coming back to Signoret.
You make your way to the top, and you walk.
Is the secretary in? Is the secretary in, or is it just access?
There's an open door.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. Okay.
You come up, and there's a long, open, arching wooden doorway. And, you step in. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong song. Hold on. 1 second. And there's this long wooden archway. It's lifted up. There's nice carvings. It's nice, but it lacks the gaudy, gothic, austere nature of most vampire fashion. Where it's just let me put gold leaf on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put a spike here and a spike here, and let's put a couple more spikes. Heck, let's put some spikes on your spikes. You know what that spike needs? Spikes. Let's put a gargoyle on that spike, and let's put spikes on that gargoyle, and it's just, it lacks all of that. It's just nice, wooden. It's a wonderful wooden floor, and set up on this floor is a miniature golf set. And Burgundy is standing at one end, tapping golf balls, and at the other end is this very, very pretty vampire lady with her mouth open, half dressed, catching the golf balls and then biting them in half and smiling at Burgundy.
She's biting the golf balls in half?
Yes.
Yikes.
Burgundy
Do they look edible, or is she just like a monster?
She's just a monster. He turns and looks at you and says, "Ah, Mr.
Gemsbach, sir.
Gemsbach, yes, thank you."
Pleasure's mine. Do you have a minute or so to discuss?
I have all the time that I could need. What is it you would like to discuss? He taps another ball.
Private business?
Alone?
Like just thumbing over to the chick?
Yes. Fine, you may go. She stands up and like walks past him and looks at you with like this like very, eye batting kind of motion and like waves at you as she walks past, and Burgundy goes, "What is it that you wanted?"
Question. It's something to do with. I know I asked you the other day if you would support Davinid's filing against the Norshflets for his kidnap and all that.
Oh yes. Poor Davinid, it is Mr. Morpheus Hanok. It was unfortunate that he had to go through all of that. And yes, the Seigneur will be taking every necessary precaution to ensure that its members are not harassed in such a way.
Well, there was a couple other questions that came up involving Mr. Davinid's performance, and there's a couple loose ends, and it might require a bit of extreme action, and I wanted to get your approval, if I can, to test out some of the theories.
He holds out his hand, and a cane flies out of the umbrella container from across the room and lands in his hand. He sets it down and says, "Walk with me." He starts walking out into the hallway.
Do you mind if I pull out a cigar?
Go right ahead.
Do you want one, or you good?
I am fine, thank you.
Not a smoker, right?
A decanter of alcohol starts floating next to him, and he pulls it out of the ice and pours himself a shot and downs that and sets it back in there and goes, "So, what is it that you want?"
Is that telekinesis, or do these things just act magically flighty?
Wouldn't you like to know, Mr. Gimsbach?
I can only imagine the fun you have with that kind of stuff.
Oh yes, I have all kinds of fun.
All I've got are the house pets. But
there's nothing wrong with some house pets.
That's fair. But
so, what is it that we shall be doing? What are the things you wanted my permission for?
You see, the other day when Mr. Davenant was suspected of involvement with a thrall, I don't know if that came across your radar, but we got him we got his own truth with one of the, clergymen in there, and he is able to go through that no problem. But he was having some pretty serious memory gaps that day that kind of impeded the investigation. And a couple days later, he seemed to have a much better memory of it. And there's a list of a list of abnormalities in his case, but I think he's got something special more than just his scientific I think he has some innate and unusual abilities that someone's trying to take advantage of. And I fear he may be manipulated by some outside party likely involved with the Norshflet's activity. And I don't really know.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Is he doing a thing?
Oh, sorry. Just keep talking.
But I'm pretty new to dealing with Norse flats from the top end, so I only know how to test my hypothesis in a bit of a crude way, and to see if the thrall really does respond to him, since neither of them are talking. My default is just something like replicating what got me chasing that thrall in the first place, of him thinking he was in some life-threatening situation.
Mr. Gimsbach.
Yeah.
You are in Lavasa.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying to manipulate everyone else.
Yeah.
I am trying to manipulate yourself, Mr. Gimsbach. In addition to Mr. Morpheus Arnak, who, might I add, has served me quite reasonably well. I am trying to manipulate the other cabinet members, who in turn are trying to manipulate me, and who in turn are trying to manipulate you.
Sure.
So, your point is?
That I think someone is using your highly skilled scientist as a dummy and is compromising his best asset, his mind, and furthermore is using him to commit illegal activity that may get your subordinate executed.
What evidence do you have of this manipulation of him?
Besides a drastic shift in mood and memory over a course of days, and the fact that a thrall knew his location across town and came running with no visible prompting.
Thralls are things of illegal mystery. Their properties are strange and unusual. It could very well be said that some magical effect was put in place.
Maybe, but there's an easy way to test the theory. The only way a thrall's gonna be knowing when and where to come calling if its master's in pain is if it's its master. That's the one bond they can't fake. And I ain't the Norse Flitz.
Threatening one of my subordinates, Mr. Gimsbach?
No, that's the whole point of this. I want to let you know that I don't want him to be in danger, but I do want to find out if he really is tied into this, because if there's some magical stuff that would incriminate your subordinate, that's a big problem. And I don't want whoever's running these...
How would you go about this investigation?
The most convenient way is if he can be susceptible to some kind of illusion, thinking he's in a repeat performance, or some crippling pain that he's not in control of, that he thinks he's being attacked. It doesn't have to be anywhere near lethal, but just enough to scare him. It'll tell whether or not that thrall really does belong to him. And if he still doesn't know what's causing it, then that means, like as not, that someone in the Norse Flets found a way to tie a thrall to him, which if they can do to anyone, is enough to get people executed legally, which means they could pin that on anyone. And if they're messing with people's minds, that now becomes a legally sanctioned assassination. And if they run the Norse Flets as well as having this ability, there's also no way to check them, because that's the Norse Flets' job. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Burgundy kind of scratches his cheek. Mr. Gimsbach.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I see where you are coming from. This is worth looking into. And if you can find evidence that someone can indeed connect a thrall to an individual, then yes, I will sanction such an action against my underling.
Well, the way we find out if it's possible is the action against your underling.
That's quite a problem, isn't it?
I've only got a symptom right now. I'm trying to get to the cause. It's easier to prove by demonstration than by, I don't know, 40, 50 years of magical...
where is the smart girl, the one that is doing all the magical research? Why not simply ask her?
Because she was kidnapped by the Northflets or similar parties, according to Mr. Dabinet.
I see.
And whoever's running this...
have you found that person?
No, due to the lack of memory of your subordinate. You see,
there are
whereby
no other leads, and you had no other leads.
we didn't know where she was taken. We haven't seen her since, at least not that the marshalship has seen.
I see.
And I would normally tell the Northflets to go do this, except if they're causing it, we need to fix that problem first, or at least get a report.
The Northflets is not a unified entity, and you know this. Let us not play these games, Mr. Gemsbach. What is it that you want?
Well, besides the aforementioned, a thought that had occurred to me, Mr. Burgundy, is that the Signorate is in control of purse strings, is it not?
The Signorate has some strings, yes.
But they do control the purse.
This is accurate.
And is the Northflets funded through the cabinet?
I am not at liberty to discuss that topic, but...
As an acting member of the cabinet, I believe...
Hypothetically, yes, there is a black budget that is provided to clandestine operations.
Well, additional information that may interest you is that while we were recovering the body of the late Lord High Marshal, there were Northflets present trying to intercept recovery and prevent it.
I see.
And why they were following him while he died?
There are numerous people who would want the Lord Marshal dead. He was not a well-liked man.
But if the Northflets are helping his demise, the same way that they were not preventing the assassination attempt on either Priscilla or Lord Geoffrey at a dinner months ago, when they were seen to be present, there is a growing list of reasons for me not to trust the Northflets.
You should never trust the Northflets. They are a clandestine secret operative of police who go around without checks and balances.
And
what on earth ever made you think that they should have been trusted?
They do have a check and balance, Mr. Burgundy.
Oh, I see. So what you're telling me is that I should personally cut off the funding to a bunch of trained assassins and saboteurs. That I should take away their livelihood.
Not recommended as a first step.
Not recommended at all, I would agree with it.
But nonetheless, that is a check and balance provided. If accounting for your safety is another story. But
if we can come up with... So what you're saying is you want to... in some manner, to reel in the Northflets to under a single unified banner? Is that the angle you are playing, Mr. Gemsbach?
I would at least like the ability for them to be called to heel by the cabinet that they serve.
I see.
I don't care if it's unified, but there should be a way.
The project itself will not be enough to pull this off. There will need to be external circumstances surrounding them to push them into action. You will need to set up some kind of elaborate trap. I will admit openly that different people employ different agents, and that such an action might prove detrimental to, shall we say, a certain member of the Signoret. But at the same time, it can prove beneficial. So yes, I will use my purse strings and tighten the hole through which the coins fall, as one tightens their hand around the throat of a young lady.
Oh.
But, I will need things from you, Mr. Gemsbach.
And what do you have in mind, sir?
I will need you to, shall we say, stoke the fires. Get them to start burning through resources. I can see to my own safety. And once they are more dependent, burning through resources at a high rate, expending them doing different menial tasks, make them like dogs chasing their own tails. Then I begin to strangle them. And they have to come and beg for my hand.
And I know the point of black operations is not to be traced. But surely you, who knows better than to trust, has some way to track these things.
There are many who have ways of tracking things, Mr. Gimbsbach. What do you imply?
If you know where the money's going, it would greatly simplify things for riling up fires. Or getting them to raise their hackles and chase tails, if we can.
As you said, there are a lack of trust that is given out from one person to another, and you, Mr. Gimsbach, do not have trust.
No problem. But don't worry,
so
I'll learn it.
You want your stranglehold, you shall have it.
I just have to do the legwork.
Indeed.
You're a poet, sir. Cool.
No, I would never do poetry. This stupid language does not suitable for, how you say,
art.
12 and 6.
But, well, alright, so I will move forward with trying to rile up that side of the fence and see if we can get...
Mr. Gimsbach, I must say, you are an interesting fellow. You have, barely a grasp on power. You have barely a thread holding you up. And in a few weeks' time, it will be nothing. A simple press and your thread will snap. Yet, you press against the fabric with everything you have and you dangle above a shark's nest.
Then I guess I'm fighting sharks today.
His eyes kind of go wide. I like you, Mr. Gemsbach. I do not trust you.
Oh, I'll learn it. Don't worry. Give it time. I'm here to do my job. As long as you let me do my job, we'll always be on the same page.
Just know that in so doing, you will not only rile up the... In taking this course of action, we will not only rile up the Northflets, but also their owners.
Yes.
Men are not happy when they see their watchdogs barking at themselves.
Well, anyone who's paying off the Northflets is, well, how do I say this? If you can pay off a Northflets, that person doesn't deserve to be there. And if you're paying them off, you probably don't deserve to be there either. It's
Well, I
That's
look forward to seeing your brilliance unfold.
I'm back. I wish it was half as brilliant as I need to be to do this, but
You ever cast
That-
runes, Mr. Gimsbach?
I've studied runes. Or are you talking about like the bones and dice style?
The game, Mr. Gimsbach, yes.
I don't know. Have I? Is this? I assume I have.
Yeah?
Out of character, is that just a Lavasan game, or is that like
Yes.
a?
It's a little awesome game.
Sure, I assume it's like throwing dice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
One does not, how to say? One does not call favored before they have seen the dice rolled, Mr. Gimsbach.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I will see what you do, and then we shall see if I am the fate, if I am the eldest, or if I am favored. You, Mr. Gimsbach, have only just picked up the dice, and I have rolled them many times.
Well, I'm luckier than most people give me credit for, and
Well then,
all
I will
I
wish
need
you a
is
little extra bit of luck. Have a good one, Mr. Gimsbach.
you too, sir. I look forward to serving with you.
It will
Thank you
be
for your
an
time.
interesting occurrence, most certainly.
And not to prejudge or anything, you seem like a good guy and you come highly recommended. But please don't ever give me a reason to come hunting you, because you seem like a great guy. And I'd really like
Burgundy
to focus on my
smiles.
job.
Burgundy smiles and says, Mr. Gimsbach, if I were in the habit of making people hunt me, do you think I would be where I am? No, Mr. Gimsbach, I am the hunter.
Well, yeah,
I
that's...
see the little prey across the field and I go for it and snatch it. And one could not easily be corrupt with Mr. Jeffrey breathing down their backs. He was, shall we say, a gifted individual. Good day, Mr. Gimsbach.
Sir. And I'll politely
And he
bow.
begins walking away.
Likewise.
What else did you want to do? Oh, you're taking notes. I'll wait.
No, that's about it. Okay. Lovely place, that. And did I hear him right that I'm good to go ahead with Davenid?
He said, he gave you a thing of like,
If I can prove that it's possible?
yes,
And when I responded with, it's easier to prove that it exists by proving it what is it? I don't know how to say it in non-math terms, but
Yeah,
the
no.
disproof by inspection is a lot easier than proving something. Like, it's easier to check something, it's easier to check a proof that exists than to prove something in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't budge on that point.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I love Burgundy. He's one of my favorite characters. Not just because I get to do a funny voice.
Well, he seems like a cool guy.
Well, I mean,
Well.
everyone in this country is a cool guy in one way or another.
How far out would Amelia be? Is the church near the...
Yeah,
Big building?
St. Herman's Cathedral is right in the middle of the Capitol building.
Great. I'll drop off. Do I? How long does it take for my shadows to recharge?
I believe it's a long rest.
Ah, crap. Oofed. And if there's no one in the... And side question while I go to the church, is the insects that I left in the senior at laboratory.
One of them.
Is anyone in those labs? If he hasn't been in,
Oh, yeah. Some scientists are in there doing research and whatnot, but but only the people that work directly with Dabanid, and they're not there very often. They're usually at the other building working on the military project.
cool. I'll just have things go around and see if there's any exciting projects or inspiring works. Or just snoop.
Yeah, not really that you can see.
If it's all on computers, but if there's any like hard docs, it can turn into a small creature and shuffle paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's a CR0. There's a lot of
Right.
like it could be an ape for all I care. It's 0CR.
Right.
I digress. So don't have that. I'll make my way back to the cathedral and talk to the good mother. So help me. What was her name?
The mother?
You know who I'm talking about, though.
You want to go talk to the mother? What is wrong with you? Mother Silnius?
Probably.
The girl in charge of Amelia?
Yeah, the mother at the auntie at the front desk. Isn't it?
Okay. In the Scollegia, in the library, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Silnius. So you go speak to Silnius?
I don't think I have her name highlighted, so I'll just go write it here.
Silnious.
And is it just mother, or is it like hi mother?
She's Mother Silnius, just mother. She's not a
Hi
mother.
Mother Silnius.
No, she's
Hive.
not a mother. Hive. Hive Mother Zale. No.
That would be funny. Okay.
So yeah, what would you like to do, my good sir?
Boop. I'm sorry. Stop in. Putting out the cigar, if it's still lit.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it away.
Yeah.
Brushing off. Checking all my I's and T's.
Mm-hmm.
And then go up to Mother Silnius and ask if Amelia's in today.
She looks down at you and goes, "Oh, you're back."
A pleasure to see you as well.
She hollers for something. She presses a button, and before long, Amelia kind of runs around the corner and goes, "Hule!" and runs over.
Oh.
Hi.
The pleasure seeing you. I had some recent, let's call them discoveries, and I wanted to run them past you. It's got a little bit of that demonology, a little bit of arcane, and it was something to do with some, hopefully nothing that ever concerns you. They seem like bad people, but I don't, but I've got some runes. So the fun part is, do you want to get a room or something? There's, I don't know, is there?
Oh, I can get a room.
No, but
she laughs and she points to she let's follow me. I'm like,
kids these days.
She walks over to another place and opens up.
Isn't she
little
actually
side.
20 or something?
She is significantly younger than you. Yes.
She's a child. Okay.
She's an adult.
Yeah, an adult child. At 100 years old, you shall call them babes in the millennium, so be it.
She sits down and she goes, "So, what is it you wanted to discuss?"
Like I said, runes. I've never seen them before, but I'm pretty sure it was demonology because of the book. And I will pull out my notepad and flip to some page in the back where I keep my sketches and hold up a sketch of the rune that's in my eyeball.
Oh, you cheeky little oika! What is your passive perception?
28.
She recognizes it. And she picks up the paper and looks at it, studying it very, very closely. Huh. Where'd you get this?
Like I said, there's some pretty unsavory people around. It's this and one other one. I don't know if it's some... Oh. The other one's, well, there's, I guess 2 more, because there's the portal has it. The portal's, flip to like... No, keep the book. I'll just pulls out another notebook, and I'll just sketch the carving that's on the walls for the glyph. Is that just a standard pentagram?
Yeah, it's a circle with a pentagram in it.
Okay, this is the standard one. That's what they use for teleporting. I haven't figured out what the first one's for exactly, and I haven't figured out the third one either.
Which is the third?
The third one, it's the yellow tab in the book you have. It's a little to the and that's the one from the glove.
Oh. The one on the glove looks very similar to the one on the for the portal, but like it's a little bit more ornate.
So
she's looking at it like,
if that's on a glove of a magic caster, does that mean anything, or do you need the actual glove and like magic stuff to know
on
what's
the glove
going
of
on?
a magic caster?
Let me see. They threw a fireball.
They threw a fireball?
They made yes, and there was an ice cage or like an ice, maybe like a baby ice wall. I broke through it. It was no, maybe it did something else. There was like those little bloody pellets that hit like rubber bullets, but they're not quite rubber. It's the worst. There's that blackness. The what do you call the blackness? Like it's in a dome of blackness. Oh.
Darkness, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
that one.
This symbol here, the first one you gave me, I do indeed recognize it. This is well, as best I can understand it, this is a name.
What's the name?
Well,
how do you get names out of runes?
Demons are very... a demon language. You speak Abyssal?
I doubt it. I don't have any languages written.
I think Minotaurs speak Abyssal. Hold up.
I feel like that's a thing because Minotaurs are from Baphomet, which is an abyssal deity. I've probably just said Minotaur on my initial brain, but I've had it remake this character sheet a time or so.
Let me look at this.
Pulling up the Minotaur monster 5e.
Not the monster, the race.
Oh. Languages, common Minotaur, whatever Minotaur is supposed to be, which is kind of lame.
Languages, you can speak, read, and write common and Minotaur. Huh. I
That's
think it's supposed to be Abyssal.
because if you pull up the Minotaur monster, their only language is Abyssal. So
Yeah,
I would say
think
that
it's supposed
tracks.
to be Abyssal. So,
All the Gemsbugs speak Abyssal and it's terrifying.
yes,
awesome.
you do speak Abyssal. So,
Cool.
you know how Abyssal has a tendency to slam noises together, yes?
Yeah.
So, the Minotaur language, I believe, is actually derived from Abyssal, where it's adjusted from the just mouthy flesh noises into the Minotaur grunts and whatnot. But the writing system is incredibly complex and convoluted, where you can draw a circle with your little angles, and essentially one rune can express an entire paragraph.
Oh.
And so this rune is a name, and names have meaning. So I'm not fluent in reading it, and I don't think anyone is. You probably have to be a demon to try and read it.
Like, are there any windows in this room?
Yeah, there's not windows, but there's a mirror.
I'm gonna make some side eye at that mirror, just like at a reflexive glance.
Mike looks at it and nods his head and says, now that she mentions it, I think I can make out some words. It's my name. I don't know how I know that. It's my name.
So, like, Amelia, can you walk... How do I go through trying to pronounce this? Is there, like, a sound with a shape? I know you don't have time to teach, like, a full class, but could you, like, go through the steps of how you would figure... Like, how do you tell the difference between a paragraph and a name? Or a name and a... Like, you know?
There's this little symbol in the middle right here.
Uh-huh.
And that's a possessive, like, individual. So that tells us that this is a name. Or at the very least, referring to an individual. The subsequent parts, like, these are all sounds, which, you know, said out loud would be your name. But each, you can break down the parts to mean different things. That's a clause for, again, possessive. And that's a clause for closing. In the second form, which would mean to close. So I am to close. So to close me. To seal, I guess. You know, like that. Each one has a little, you know, meaning of its own, and you can read the things around it to determine what those mean collectively. And then by, you know, piecing together the whole thing, you come to understand what it means.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah.
They don't just, like, make dictionaries for Abyssal? That seems like a lot. I haven't heard about languages like this. But, I mean, if you want to, you can, here, let me just make you a copy, and I'll use my, like, a random page of the second notebook. Just looking at it and just sketch exactly what I see.
Yes, 1 minute.
For what it's worth, this is how we pronounce it.
Okay, so you broke it up. Cool. So, you broke it up, that's fine. That works. Because each little subsequent thing has a breakup. And I have the chart that tells me what each little sound makes, but I want to just give you the full name. So, you know, the Ori mark in the center means that, you know, it's the possessive.
Mm-hmm.
And then spiraling out from there, you know, the one to the left is mum, above it is in, to the left is al, to below it is each. So, I mean, you could, you can take a note for me, thanks. And you can just make a copy for me. Anything else you wanted to ask about?
Does it say more than, like, does it say something? Like,
yeah, but I couldn't read it any better than that.
Oh, okay. No worries. I'm already miles ahead of where I was. I just thought it was...
Okay.
I thought they were using it for part of a summoning thing, because there's teleporting and
yes,
there's assassin.
You would definitely. In order to summon a demon, you have to have its full name.
Oh.
And that's what this looks like. This looks like a full name.
Oh, there. Yikes. Well, say they're a lot farther ahead than I'd like anyone to be. Gross. There may be a demon cult somewhere in town, just please be careful.
That's a piece of information.
That's, I mean, nothing like super outlandish. I think they're just part of like some underground, you know, black market stuff.
This you said was on a glove? She shows you the other one?
Yeah, it was... Let me check my notes.
Well, see, this is easier to read because this is infernal, which is a lot easier to read. It's a far more structured, far more reasonable language.
I thought it was... So it's not abyssal, it's the demon stuff? No, devil stuff, right?
The first one you showed me, this name, is abyssal.
Uh-huh.
This one that was on the glove, that's infernal. That's a symbol for 1,000, or that's 1,000, and this is years. So that's the word year. So it's 1,000 years, so a millennium. And then at the bottom is, hold up, what does this say?
1,000 years of death.
Yes, this says, so that'd be millennium, and that's, actually I believe that's a draconic phrase, but written in Infernal.
Oh?
Yes, I'm, just a second, I'm not super familiar with Infernal. It's, Dux et Ferro, so that would say, this is millennium, est dispater dux et ferro.
Uh-huh.
That's what it says. It says millennium est dispater dux et ferro.
Dispater in Inferno? Isn't Dispater one of those demon dudes? No, that's a hell dude, isn't it? 1,000 years.
Oh, yes, Dispater. He is
that's the name. I read it.
He's a prince of hell, yes.
Yeah, he was like one of the title headings. The chapter headings, I mean. In the
in the book you translated? Yeah, give me a history check, Jackson.
Oh, that doesn't suck. Let's see what my bonus is. 7 plus 14, 21?
Lord of the Second, Dispater, the Iron Duke. This is Millennium of Dispater, the Iron Duke. Millennium est Dispater, Dux et Ferro.
Without saying, what's the second? Is he Lord of the Second, as in second layer?
No, that's not on there. What's written is Millennium est Dispater Dux et Ferro, which is Millennium of Dispater, the Iron Duke. Yeah.
Does that give the glove power? Is that how that works?
This looks like a magic focus. It could be a magical focus, yes, considering it's on a spellcaster.
Oh. Which probably means that's not a wizard thing. That's probably one of them cult wizards, the sorcerers, or there's one of them.
One of them, yes.
Well, that's cool. I mean, do they pay you for this, or you want a clock? How does this work?
As an adept sister, I live here, and I am provided rations and a place to sleep, and all that kind of stuff. I don't get money, though.
And you don't get a stipend?
No money.
What about, like, buying things?
Everything I need is provided by the Scoligia, my particular adept.
I can't get you coffee because she's all up about coffee.
I will go get coffee with you if you want to go get coffee.
I just hate to be like showing you cool stuff, putting you to work for like not paying you. I don't know. It's just like
It is my calling.
Yeah, but surely your calling should also pay. Isn't that? I don't know.
You're very sweet, Mr. Gimsbach. Alright, Hule, I need to get back to some other reading, and I will gladly take you up on that coffee anytime you want.
If I ever get a chance to sleep and then coffee, I'll do that. It's gonna be a long day between here and whenever sleep happens.
Alright.
But thank you so much for the help. That helps. Now I at least know what I'm looking at and where we need to turn the investigation. Okay. And I'm like already like starting to like zone like do that 100-yard stare into like the side of a random bookshelf, just like
Right.
quietly getting them up. Like, oh yeah, sorry. Thank you. See you.
Goodbye. You stand up to leave, and I think that's where we're gonna end it for tonight.
Dope. Oh.
Hey, you made progress. Like you got a lot of things done.
I accomplished things. I did them.